At 2:12 on an otherwise quiet night, the Capitol's early warning grid flickered with irregular signals. Operators inside the darkened command center leaned toward their screens as faint signatures appeared at the edges of radar coverage, vanishing and reappearing like ghosts. For a moment, no one could determine if this was interference, weather, or something far more deliberate. Beyond the border, long-range munitions skimmed low across rolling terrain, following valleys and natural contours to stay hidden from detection. Their paths were unpredictable, weaving like predators closing in on vulnerable prey. Civilian aviation trackers did not register them. Even the military network hesitated. Then for 3 silent seconds, encrypted communication nodes inside the Capitol failed to synchronize. Automatic backups rebooted in confusion. Those 3 seconds were enough for a breach. Beneath the streets, corridors filled with hurried footsteps. Doors to secure conference rooms slammed shut. Higher-ranking officials received hastily whispered instructions. Above ground, at a government airfield, floodlights snapped on as transport aircraft powered up their engines. The public remained asleep, unaware that the state apparatus had already begun to shift. In the main command center, conflicting orders collided. Some officers were told to prioritize distant high-speed contacts accelerating toward the city. Others were instructed to focus on a dense cluster of low-signature anomalies hovering near the border. The chain of command broke into overlapping voices, each convinced their threat was the primary one. Screens filled with noise. Decision-making slowed under the pressure. Meanwhile, electronic warfare platforms outside the city disrupted specific radar bands, creating pockets where detection became unreliable. While defenders scrambled to engage decoys and false returns, an unseen corridor opened across the airspace. Through that corridor, a small number of cruise missiles advanced quietly, guided by terrain-matching software and inertial navigation. Their final approach was silent. Terminal seekers switched to thermal imaging, comparing what they saw with stored three-dimensional templates of their target, a sprawling industrial complex responsible for producing critical components used in frontline weapons. In the last seconds, each missile performed slight course adjustments to strike at precise stress points. The first warhead punched through the roof of a primary production hall, igniting volatile materials. The second detonated near storage racks, triggering a chain reaction. The third hit casting machinery at the facility's heart. Fire expanded rapidly, and secondary explosions illuminated the night sky, forming a pillar of smoke visible from miles away. Shock waves rattled windows across nearby districts. Inside the Capitol, the explosion was not just physical. It reverberated through political structures. Schedules were altered, protective convoys mobilized. The illusion of distance had been pierced. For years, strategic facilities far from the front were considered untouchable. After this night, that belief ended. On the front lines, the effects appeared slowly at first. Ammunition shipments decreased. Firing schedules tightened. Commanders reported shortages of key supplies. Rockets were launched less frequently, and artillery began rationing shells. Soldiers noticed the quiet. The cost imbalance was severe. A small handful of precision weapons had removed a capability worth far more. The defenders faced not only physical loss, but also doubts about the reliability of their air defense network. If such a strike could succeed once, it could succeed again. In the days that followed, government aircraft departed toward shelters further inland. Officials issued calm statements, but their actions suggested concern. Analysts questioned the integrity of the nation's defense layers. Citizens asked whether any location was truly secure. The strike demonstrated that modern conflict is not confined to trenches or borders. It is fought in factories, supply chains, and infrastructure far from the front line. When those nodes collapse, the battlefield reshapes itself. The effects ripple outward, influencing morale, logistics, and strategy. Above the ruins, smoke drifted across the night sky, illuminated by distant emergency lights. What once stood as a pillar of industrial strength was now twisted steel and blackened concrete. And in the silence that followed, the Capitol finally understood how fragile its confidence had always been. In the end, this strike proved how fragile modern defenses can be when pressure hits the right point. For more real strategic breakdowns, follow Military Nexus Zone.